Today we're over here at FS Cables, which is now part of the Shoal Group, which is actually the home of Rainbow Spaghetti.
We've seen an upturn in the amount of demand for UK-made products, made in Britain.
And certainly that sort of made in Britain search term is being used a lot more frequently now.
I think you've been very modest there. That warehouse is insane. It is insane.
The customer is king. The customer is first, and we will look at everything first and foremost from the customer perspective.
It's all about brand. You know, you've got to get that brand out there.
Brand everything.
There's
Brand everything.
I definitely think the brand that you've created in Rainbow Spaghetti helps. Our aim is to try and get more homegrown made products because it's better for the environment and it's better for business as well.
We've got like guys in Jamaica that are fitting out jobs to kind of those standards. Hi guys, Rich from Outersmart. Welcome back to another podcast. Today we're over here at FS Cables, which is now part of the Shoal Group, which is actually the home of Rainbow Spaghetti. Today we're joined by
Daniel Butterfield. I'm the sales director at Shoal Group and FS Cables.
Nice. And
Mark Mastrangelo, marketing manager for Shoal Group.
Awesome. So these two chaps are the guys in charge of the sales and marketing for the Shoal Group. So I suppose I think the first thing we answer with FS Cables, Shoal Group, I said before we started, what exactly is the Shoal Group?
So Shoal Group is a combination of companies that have come together now. So Shoal was launched in October 2020, and it brings together FS Cables, Cablecraft, and now recently SWA that came into the group August last year. And we've also got Shoal Export that handles all our overseas transactions.
Awesome. So with the Shoal Group bringing everything together, so we're here today filming the podcast with FS Cables at your absolutely, you can see it just kind of outshot on the back there, but absolutely massive warehouse facility, which we'll come on to in a second. Yep. But then on top of there, we're then going to go down tomorrow and get Cablecraft and get all the little bits and pieces for the accessories. Again, we'll go into both companies in a second. But then in a couple of weeks, heading down to SWA to then have a look at their offerings. But the Shoal Group is effectively bringing these under one banner.
Yeah, absolutely. It's combining cables and accessories. It's what all the companies have done really well. And it's just pulling it under one umbrella company so we can go to market with a full package. And then hopefully at some point you can go down and visit the factory, Birch Valley Plastics down in Plymouth as well, and see some of those cable accessories being made.
Yeah, so this is obviously something that's just come out of today. And then again, another arm of their business that I didn't even know existed was you actually manufacture in the UK. So it's not just things that have been imported from China, although obviously naturally with supply chains, some things are imported from China, but there's a lot of things that are manufactured in the UK. So we're actually going to go down to that manufacturing facility shortly to have a look at all the stuff that they do manufacture in the UK.
Yeah, and for us, we've seen an upturn in the amount of demand for UK-made products, made in Britain, here in the UK, but also overseas. And it's something that we're heavily investing in and looking to create more marker lines alongside the heat shrink that they make, spiral wrap and braided sleeve as well.
I don't know, especially some of the product portfolio that you run down with me, what you make there, even things like earth sleeving, which of course is like bulk item. Could of course be made very cheaply abroad, but manufacturing even that in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, last year alone, we made 63 million meters of green yellow PVC sleeving. That's just in green yellow. That, you know, add up all the phase sizes as well. It's crazy how much we produce now in the UK.
For those sleevings and heat shrinks. Yeah. Now, I suppose, of course, the UK manufacturing thing, of course, there are going to be products that for various reasons we're going to get manufactured abroad.
Yeah.
But you're actually saying that you're seeing now a complete reverse in that. It's not even just you guys. UK manufacturing over the last 10, 20 years has slowly kind of dwindled out a little bit, but it's actually coming back.
I think there is. I think people want to try and reduce the carbon footprint. And we as a business tied to a PLC, you know, I mentioned Shoal Group. Shoal Group's owned by Diploma PLC, a FTSE 250 business. And we've got to do all we can to reduce our waste packaging and the amount of miles that our products are traveling across the country and across the UK, well, across the world. You know, 50% of what we buy comes from China. I would have said about 20% from Turkey and another 20% from the UK and the remainder from all around the European region. Our aim is to try and get more homegrown made products because it's better for the environment and it's better for business as well.
And people are searching for it. So when we look at our analytics on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, we can see what people are searching for before they arrive at a certain page. And certainly that sort of made in Britain search term is being used a lot more frequently now, so even over the last couple of years. And with COVID, increasing freight costs, that's all kind of rolled up. And then the environmental footprint as well. I think you put all that together and it's a really strong, it's such a strong proposition now, because if you can, and it may or may not cost any more, but I don't think that's the biggest issue. The biggest issue is that if people can buy something that's made in the UK and made locally, they will do.
Yeah, and to add to that, I mean, it's not that cheap anymore to import it from China. You know, the cost of those containers are $15,000. They used to be $2,000. Add on the increased labour rates, the fuel costs. It just makes sense. If you can buy it closer to where you're supplying it, it's good for everyone. And the lead times, we've all experienced it. I've got going out further and further and further, and having something made in country just brings it all in line with the ethos of the company, which is really to supply quality products as and when you need them. You've seen our stock holding already. It's pretty great, you know, across the FS range, and you'll see it tomorrow.
Pretty great.
Yeah, okay, it's pretty good.
Great. That I think you've been very modest there. That warehouse is insane. It is insane. The amount of stock that you've got in there, which is literally bursting at the seams with stock, is crazy. And this is obviously just one of the facilities, because we can go then down to Cablecraft as well, where you've got more stock.
Yeah, Cablecraft's the same. Yeah.
Can I use that, by the way?
What's that?
In my marketing, moving forwards, pretty great.
Pretty great. Probably wasn't the right phrase, but you know, we all know what we mean.
But when we say pretty great, I mean, I'm sure Cam at this point, as we're talking now, is planning some cool shots as we're looking through the warehouse. What is the stock value in that warehouse? I'm not to the penny. I'm not going to hold you to it, but average stock.
I mean, it would fluctuate between 3.5, 4 million.
4 million quid's worth of cable in stock at anyone's. And there really is. You literally look around the warehouse, and it is. I knew it was big. I mean, I've seen pictures of it. There's a picture on your website of it. But when you actually come and stand in it, it's like, Jesus. There's a lot of cable.
I think for us as a business, we were always born out of the flexible and specialist cables. That was our name, and then it became FS Cables. A lot of what we have out there doesn't actually have high copper content. The cost is really in the complexity of the cable, the design, and the manufacturing process. So for us to hold that level of stock, we've got over 3,500 lines sitting on that shelf out there, and we need to be the supplier of choice, because people depend on that service, that delivery that we're able to do same days into London. And then we got a guaranteed next day service, and we do time deliveries as well. And even Saturdays as and when required.
Yeah. I mean, again, obviously with me being a customer first, and we're only in like one of the sectors you're operating. So we obviously doing the smart home stuff. We're using your cables, speaker wires, the rainbow spaghetti. Again, we'll come on to that in a bit, but that is the smart home, and that kind of sector is a small proportion of what you do. Because what other sectors is it that you're working in? What are your key sectors?
Yeah, for us, construction. The construction market is great for us. Smart homes falls within that, and smart buildings. We do a lot of work in sort of data centers, distribution centers, supplying cable for there. But then we move across to, we got a wholesale team dedicated on redistribution, and then we have an OEM team that's really looking at manufacturing of key products. So it could be wind turbines, it could be defibrillators that are now being installed across all the schools and sports clubs around the country. We supply product that goes onto those. So there's some really niche items that we create for ground monitoring. So a lot of the rockfall monitoring, or those HS2 projects that are coming, we'll be looking to work with companies that are going to be installing cables to check to make sure there's no land movement as they do in the work.
And this is the thing I'm loving about doing these podcasts, because I'm going out and seeing businesses that I thought I knew about, and I literally know about this much about these companies because I'm coming out. And again, FS Cables, from even looking at the team you've got in the office and all the sub teams, and even your like marketing team, it's just not, oh, we've got a person doing marketing, and you've got quite a few people on your team.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the markets that we work in. We've got some strong propositions for each of those, and part of what the team does is just to make sure we communicate the right messages to that right sector, and to make sure that everybody can't get first-hand experience like you can. And we're delighted that you're here, because it just makes it's perfect for us, because you can actually see and get confidence in the businesses that you're partnering with. But we can't have everybody here. What we need to do is just to make sure we get that right communication out into the right channels, and say that, and get that narrative through, because there's some very strong propositions from this end.
No, absolutely. And you said that about, obviously, a good business. So for me, we've used, well, since inception of Art of Smart, we've always used their first. The reason we did it was obviously for the coloured Cat6 cables and the speaker wires, because you have the largest range, as far as I'm aware, and probably as far as you're aware, that offer those Cat5, Cat6, PVC low smoke cables. But you've got the largest range. So we obviously use the different coloured Cat6 cables on our projects for different services. And then around that, I've obviously then trained our national network of partners around those colour standards. And then as we push forward with the trade association and other things like that, working those coloured standards and to make it a standard. And it's now, we've got like guys in Jamaica that are fitting out jobs to kind of those standards.
Right.
So, as things evolve and keep going, we've obviously the Shoal export side of things, growing those kind of hubs. But yeah, outside of that, we've then got the rail stuff. You're doing all the kind of rail bits, and you've got the rail bits and pieces, which I suppose is where getting Cablecraft comes into that and works great, because you've got a cable, but you put it on the end of it.
Absolutely. And, that was the ethos, I think, with Diploma, why they've looked to bring the two businesses together, and now obviously SWA as well. And Cablecraft's business model is through redistribution and also through rail. A lot of that is more contractor led. And then you've got the OEM team. And as you've seen today, panel trunking, we've got so much panel trunking out there.
I didn't even, literally, there was me expecting to see literally aisles and aisles of coloured Cat6 rainbow spaghetti, and it's a tiny little corner in the back of the warehouse. The panel trunking, literally, for evening panels, is mountains of it every direction you turn.
Yeah, it's our brand. Beta Duct's been around for a number of years, and it gets specified. It's a big name out in the market, and we're supplying companies across the UK and as far afield as New Zealand, America. It's a big name. And as you can see, we got plenty of it.
You literally have got plenty of it. Got lots of stuff in stock, and I suppose that is the main thing, coming back onto kind of the manufacturing, the import, the export, the bringing things over from China. Obviously, with how things have been impacted over the last couple of years, so for me as a business with supply chain and waiting for products and price increases, how have you found that's affected it, and what have we done to combat that?
It's been tough. I think for every business, it's been tough. The way we've combated it really is trying to get ahead of it, making sure we've got the stock, because there's no point trying to chase stock. If when you've got orders coming in, you've got to be able to fulfill it. So we've increased our holding, and then we're working with customers on projects where we can then offer call-off services, so they can agree a fixed price, and we may hold it for 3, 6, 9, 12 months, and they're guaranteed that price for the whole duration of that term. And then we agree certain schedule for the deliveries, and that just basically guarantees service, availability, quality, consistency, and price. And at this moment, I think everyone would take that.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. So they can lock in the price, secure an order, and then draw it off as and when they need it, because you've held the stock. I mean, I've seen it in the warehouse. You literally have a row which is literally customer stock.
Yeah.
So they can hold that in there.
It just means that you're not going to be let down by a cable company. You've got that stock there. Your project, providing you do your part, will run to schedule. And you don't have that movement in price that could quickly catch you out later on. A few months later, we were talking earlier, you don't want to agree a price now and then have to buy products 3 months, 4 months down the line. You could easily lose 5, 10, 15, 20% in the current market.
Yeah, like literally easy, because the prices have increased. And naturally, with what's gone on, like you said before, container prices, naturally prices have had to increase over the last couple of years. We're seeing it across the board. Literally, our stuff that we offer as a business is 20 to 50 to 60, 70, 80% up on some lines to what it was 2 years ago. It just, unfortunately, is the landscape of where we're at now.
We don't like putting price increases in the market. We try to mitigate that by buying better, buying smart, increasing our stock holding. We want to insulate you from the outside world, as best as possible. But sometimes we all have to do it, and we have to pass it on.
And again, it's like we say to clients, and even just in general, is just talking about it, because it is what it is. But this is what we're doing to minimize it, and this is what you can do to minimize the knock-on effect to you and your customers. Like, the price is going to go up, but I am offering you a service where you can literally put your cable on the shelf here at the same price it was 12 months ago.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's ball is in your court, really, to take charge of that.
Yeah, and I think if you're providing customers solutions, we can always work together in collaboration to get through it. And pretty much all of our customers have accepted some level of price increase, because we've all had to do that in our own personal lives. We can't escape it. It's no different with Cablecraft as well.
And that's actually quite an interesting point, because of what we found over the last couple of years, because there's been so much uncertainty and instability just globally. with the pandemic. People's awareness of cost increases and why those are happening, and shortages of certain materials and raw materials. When you can have sensible conversations now, you do need to adjust the price. And we've certainly found that you don't get the pushback that maybe we did 3+ years ago, when it was just seen as just making making an extra few percent. But now, as Daniel was saying, we'd never willingly put the price up if we didn't need to. And I think everybody's a bit more understanding now about the not global economy as such, but just the economics of how certain situations can affect the price of certain goods. And let's make no light point of it. 2.5 years ago, a container from China was $2,500–3,000. It's now at $13,000 to $15,000
and higher.
And so,
if they can get away with it, I think at times they will get away with it.
And given the challenges in the world at the moment, who knows where that could go as well with fuel prices.
Obviously, current situation. I mean, at the time we're filming this was with the Ukraine and Russia situation. When this was filmed, again, I mean, touch wood, it's not going to do. But if there's any knock-on effects and fallout from that, it could change the landscape again.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've just got to, I say, the tail end of COVID. I think it's here to stay for a little bit longer. But of the main issues with the coronavirus situation and then the new current situation, which great times. So one of the really good things, and one of the things I really like about you guys and my work with you a lot, is obviously like the cut-off times. Like, in an ideal world, we're not going to be ringing you up at 4:30, 5 o'clock as the van's getting loaded with last delivery of the day. But I mean, you are the kind of company that if you can, you will. You know, if the flexibility is there to get last minute order out because there's a last minute emergency job, you'll do it.
Yeah, and we always do our best to meet that. We want to be an easy company to do business with, and we want to give the best service possible. And if we can, we will jump through hoops to make it work. And if we can't, we'll be honest. You know, we're not going to take the order and tell you yes. And then
I'll definitely be there tomorrow.
Yeah, no, we don't want we don't want you phoning us up and saying where's the cable. You know, we'll be honest. We'll tell you what we can do and what we can't do. And if we can get it out on a same day delivery to maybe one of your jobs or one of your partners, in and around London area, we will.
It's interesting from a marketeer's perspective, and I'm a relatively recent addition to the Shoal Group. I've only been with FS and Shoal Group 3 years, but it's very much a cultural thing within the business. It's not something that's laid out and planned, and it's not in people's job description. It's just how the company operates. And since it was privately owned back in the late 70s, early 80s when it started, it's very much been a case of the customer is king, the customer is first, and we will look at everything first and foremost from the customer perspective. And people just do it naturally. And it's a joy for me because it makes my force it. No, I haven't got to sell anything. All I've got to tell people about is what we do. I don't have to roll anything in glitter. It's actually a piece of cake as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and we've been bought out. You know, both businesses, Cablecraft and FS Cables and SWA. But what we stood for still remains. You know, we've still got the little red book. We now have a little green book. We still have the warehouse team working just as hard to meet the deadlines that our customers expect. And that's the same as Cablecraft, and it will be the same as SWA. We're not looking to change that model. We just want to enhance it, grow it, and build on it. And
tie it all together under one roof as well, because that's for me, like I say, I've said a few times, like, we use you guys for the cable. We always use Cablecraft anyway for markers, idents, velcros, that kind of stuff. We always use SWA for storm glands and the ferrules and the crimps. But pulling all that together under one roof, one shared company, one shared kind of family, like under one umbrella, is natural sense, really.
Yeah, and we're on a journey. Don't get me wrong, because we got 30,000 products in our range,
plus all the different staff and teams, and
we're on a journey.
There's all that.
Yeah, but what we have started really is looking at what's in the little red book, what's in the FS Cables range, and matching that to SWA products, the glands, the storm glands.
Tell me about this before, and I was like crazy impressed.
Yeah, and so we're making it easy for customers to go online to see that cable matches those glands, and we're going to be doing the same with Cablecraft. So the cable markers joining those to the accessory cables.
Yeah, because on the slide on markers, the Critchlow markers we use for the lighting panels, it's like, this is the correct marker for the cause of these cables.
Yeah, based on the overall diameter of the product. We will tie it all together and just make that purchasing decision for our customer online that little bit easier, but also for our sales teams and overall our sales and customers have the ability to go on, talk to the people in the office or online and match the products together, so you can buy it all from one company if needed.
That's awesome. So I suppose that's creating some new things for you to do, some new challenges, bringing that digital experience. Because one of the things is, I will say, and this is obviously kudos to you and the company, but the whole FS online experience is good.
Again, over the last couple of years, we've worked pretty hard to try and make that a better experience for customer specifiers, whoever it is that's looking for a product. With regards to that matching of products, the platform has its limitations as it currently stands, but we've managed to do a reasonable job of making those alignments in such a way that it's very new, by the way. This is something that's happened over the last 3 or 4 weeks and gone live. But and we're researching and continue to research to make sure what we've done is the right thing,
and improving it and tweaking it and analysing it, seeing what you've done, see what's working. But the online. In fact, Cam, why don't we pull it up? Do you want to pull up the FS website? We'll have a little look at it and have a look through a couple of the bits. But with like the compliance or even getting the data sheet for a product, like it's not, where's this data sheet? Search product, click it, bang, it's there. So we've got the website here, which again, nice, colourful homepage, very clear home automation. Your coax cables, because again, the coax, the aerial installer, is a market within a market, really. The industrial automation and specialist cables, data cables, fire resistance, fiber optics, sepia, Brisbane and Dracker.
Yeah, I mean, approximately 80% of what we sell is FS branded. So you'll either have the FS name on the cable or our brand names like True or Antenax. And then the 20% of other products are typically market leaders, your Prismium, your Dracker, where we've got exclusivity around fire resistant data cables, coax cables, and fire resistant fiber cables. Or we move into the marine market where we've got cables that are designed for super yachts and mega yachts. We're partnered with a Norwegian company, NEK Cable, that do sort of category cables, but to the real high-end specs, and some of the coaxes and fibers too. And then we're partnered with Unica, Italy, in Italy, who make shipboard cables. We look to if we're not selling our own, we're selling the best in the market. To complement
that in. Again, it's that model that the Shoal Group's creating. Is tying it all under one roof for the go-to guys for the cable stuff. So talking about them kind of things on the website, what's cool on the website? What's a nice feature you've implemented on here?
Well, we were just talking about you joining the dots, as it were. So you've got your cable in one hand and you've got your accessories or your other bits in the other hand, and you need to find bits that connect these two things together. So on the FS website, we're rolling out a system where a user can search for a cable product, and then they can sort of seamlessly look at what connects to that product that we have in our range. So we're looking at an outdoor speaker cable just at the minute, and you've got a product description there next to the images, and you'll see a tab just to the right that says connects to. So if you click on that, and then you've got the part numbers listed in drop-down boxes, and everything to that part number ending FOO. You'll see the accessories or the glands or whatever it happens to be.
Literally all the SWA products.
At the moment, we've started with SWA products. We're rolling that out to True accessory products and Cablecraft products. So there'll be a lot more that'll be added as time goes on.
I think we just had an exclusive then.
You might well have done.
We might have done. True accessories. I'm not going to prize you for the ins and outs. What we expanding upon that then?
Yeah, we've got such a fantastic portfolio of products within Shoal Group. It's joining the dots. It's bringing it all together. So you can phone us up or drop us an email and buy your connectors, your markers, your braided sleeve, your heat shrink, your cable, your storm glands, and get it delivered tomorrow. You don't have to place multiple orders, and you've got that level of product quality and service that you've become used to.
It's things that are tied together. So presumably things like, I said it before, it's quite geeky for me, but like even like with the data cables, making sure that they're similar or similar quality or similar shades, so that kind of all matches together and ties through, because it's all from one place. I know when people are like shopping about and looking for cheaper stuff all the time, you end up things that are just all a bit mismatched and trying to make it work together, whereas you're going, everything you want is here.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
everything's in one place.
The cables that we sell predominantly, more and more of them now, are CPR classed as well. And we take pride in making sure that we go and get them tested ourselves. So our name is on those declarations of performances. We do our own in-house testing. We hold our our suppliers and manufacturers to account. We don't just accept a batch delivery with a test cert. We will go and retest it. We want to make sure that what you're buying is fit for purpose and you're not going to have any issues. Because in some cases, especially with some of the fire applications, there's people's lives at risk, and we've got to be able to sleep at night knowing that our products are fit for purpose.
So you mentioned CPR though. Obviously, I'm fully aware what CPR is, and I'm sure you guys are most definitely aware what CPR is. So for those who don't know, cables and some cables and lots of other things apart from cables have to actually conform to some kind of CPR compliance, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can see it on the box just behind you there on the Rainbow Spaghetti on the Cat 6. You've got a tick and you've got their logo saying that conforms. In fact, even more so, you've got a page on the website. That's how important it is. So just for people who maybe don't know, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, CPR stands for the Construction Products Regulation.
Right.
It came into force several years ago now, and the market is having to adopt it because it's been built into the 18th edition wiring regs, and it's all to do with the testing of fire testing on cables. And where in the past you had it to IEC standards, you're now having a rating that goes from A to F, with additional subcategories in some of those as well. So F being the worst, A being the best. Unfortunately, you're never going to get an A cable. The best is more likely to be a B, and a lot of our category cables are now rated to B2CA. And a lot of the more sort of general style cables like speaker cables will have them in C class as well as E class, depending on where they're being installed and what's been specified by the consultants.
Yeah. So do you guys have actually put some great videos together on the website for people who maybe are specifiers that need to know more about this and how you're dealing with conformity?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, it's a bit of a minefield with regards to the interpretation of CPR for a lot of people, and even people in the know sometimes can trip up with regards to not having the right information. So we put together a fairly simplistic walkthrough, handhold series of videos to take people through what is CPR, what are the tests, how are they conducted, what are they looking for, et cetera, et cetera. So, and that's probably one of the more visited pages on our website, in fact.
Really?
Yeah.
And again, because you're a marketing guy, you've got the stats analytics behind that.
Yeah, exactly right.
So you know that's a popular way.
Yeah,
but it is. But I suppose I don't want to start creating turf wars or it's like lots of competitors. But is every manufacturer globally conforming to this standard?
If they want to sell products into Europe and in the UK, yes,
legally. Sell products in legally.
Yeah.
Is stuff still scraping in that isn't maybe compliant?
Potentially, but to be fair to most of the installers, wholesalers, people are becoming more and more clued up on this, and it is part of the fabric of some of the designs that are out there now that they are specifying C class for higher end installs where people's lives are at risk. And as a business, we've taken the decision to invest in a lab where we're doing our own in-house testing. So we will check those cables and then we'll send them off for third-party accreditation.
So yeah, I mean, we've seen that, and Cameron's probably cut some shot of it now, but you've literally got your own lab. I know you've got a lab here for testing your products. You're not just like buying them, the ones you get manufactured in the UK or even abroad. You're not getting them in and be like, yep, cool, they've said that's good.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, our names on our cables, our names on our data sheet, and our names on our declaration of performance, we've got to be able to back that up. And the best way to do it is to test it. And like as I said earlier, you want to go to sleep, sleep at night knowing that product is fit for purpose. And I'm proud to say that our cables, our accessories are, I can't speak on behalf of all the other competitors out there, but I know we do a good job. Yeah,
no, 100%. And especially because with that, you're saying that sometimes people, yes, may have a product that they're selling, or they've got a product, they may have a range of Cat 6 that is being done under the manufacturer's CPR umbrella, whereas you've actually got all your own CPR certificates and you've got all your certification is FS's certification for your own products.
Yeah, and if somebody needs a declaration of performance for a cable that's been installed years ago, they can go onto our website, they can type in the code and they can download that instantly. So it just makes it really, really simple for our customers to trace exactly where that cable's come from.
And you keep all that on the website as well, even though,
yeah, it's all accessible.
You are busy on website team, aren't you? You have put it on the website, put it on the website, put it on the website.
It's one of those things that it's like painting the old Forth Bridges. Used to be you start at the beginning, you update it all, and once you finish, you'll go back to the beginning, you'll start again. It's imperative though that you've got accurate information, product technical information for all of our products. I mean, it's when it's being specified and when you're looking at a job, you need to know that the information that you're looking at is accurate and up to date.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm probably because I'm a little bit impatient, but for me, like with data sheets and things like that, if I go on a website and I'm looking at a product and I want to know some more information about it, it's not got a data sheet, for me to get that information, I'll just go onto another website and I'll go reverse search. I kind of look I'll search PDF as part of the term, find the data sheet, and then find the product to match the data sheet that's giving me the information I want. So you're literally just covering all angles with that and making sure it's there. Then on top of that, bang, we've got some connectors to go with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you need to have data sheets this day and age. If you want to get tech subs, you need to have that as part of your offer. And people want to get it specified because the likelihood it's going to be used again and again and again. And that's what we do with all our cables. We'll make sure we've got the data sheets and the technical test certs to back it up.
So that's kind of a business angle then. So rather than people are manufacturing and just marketing cables for the sake of that, these are cables, you're going down also a slightly different route as well as doing that, is you're targeting designers and specifiers from the word go and trying to get in from that.
Absolutely. And, like Art Smart, it's all about brand. You've got to get that brand out there.
Brand
and
everything.
There's absolutely no point in doing a great job at the front end if all your data sheets and test certs are somebody else's. Let's get it right from the get-go, from the website, from the data sheets, from the cable to the test certs, brand everything.
Awesome. And even when we've got a cut, even the cuts come out branded. So with the deliveries, because we've looked at the warehouse and talked about the warehouse and how big all the drums are and stuff. But if somebody needed 26 meters of a specific cable, granted, not the biggest order I'm sure you'll do today, but if it was, or if they need 153 meters or a very specific thing, I mean, there's a fair few stations and a fair few guys down there just ready to cut cable.
Yeah, we've got 13 machines. I'm sure that will grow as we grow. We stock a lot of cables in pack sizes for ease of packaging and getting it out. But if customers want specific lengths, we will cut to length on those products where we can. And that obviously just stops you buying more than you need, stops the wastage your side. And just, again, it's part of that value add service that we tried to create.
And then, you can get them out. Obviously, you said before, like we actually had one time we needed a very specific cable, a very specific length yesterday. Well, no, we needed it tomorrow and it's a Saturday. And we'd done that. You managed to get that sorted out. We got sent out on about 6 o'clock on Friday evening. And we actually had a courier. You'd arranged a courier for us, like not even just your general next day. I mean, we paid for it, well, the client paid for it, but you're going to do that for people.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all about value add. I mean, here, obviously, we cut cable, we package it in a certain way, and our brand is our value as well, that we're propositioned to our customers. They're buying an FS product. At Cablecraft, you used a lot of the markers. Well, we can do pick and mix. If you just want a box of L's and 3s and 2s, we can do that. We've got a kitting room that where we make those to order. If you want custom ident solutions, if you want heat shrink labels with certain logos or brands on, we can do that. If you want custom panel labels to go on the outside, we do all of that in-house. And
I don't think people fully appreciate, I mean, we talked about cables on the shelves, but the accessories on the shelves and the little bits that complement those cables that Cablecraft have, there are thousands. Like, even keeping up with all those SKUs must be crazy. But you have a solution for every possible thing.
We try to. And the reality is there's more out there, and we're always looking to bring new, great products to market. And it's something that as a business, through cable accessories at Cablecraft and SWA, we're not going to hold back on. We're going to keep doing.
And developing.
Yeah.
And I kind of mentioned something to you before. So we use obviously slide-on markers. And you said, well, if you want those slide-on markers, but you want the numbers slightly different, we'll just make them for you. And you'll just could add on something like that very quickly if needs be.
Yeah, we've got a custom ident team where they're doing their laser etching, custom engraving. We've also got, I mean, we haven't even talked about it today, but tool calibration. So you can send us, if you've got hand tools that you need to be calibrated, we will do that in-house. Test and measurement equipment, we will do repairs and
on crimpers. You've obviously got your big stuff because you're not just doing, I mean, we're talking data cables and speaker cables, that's what we do, but you're doing everything up until 240, 400 mil ring crimps.
Yeah, on the Cablecraft side, absolutely. And the hand tools, we run crimp courses. So we'll get people apply through the website. We'll go down and do crimp training for 10, 15, 20 people. We'll do that for your everyday Sparky right through to your London Underground. So we again, value add service. That's what it's all about. How can we help our customers?
Nice. And compliance. Keep them compliant.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, if you're providing a service like training them, they're more likely to want to buy the products that you're training them on because they're going to have the confidence in using it and believing in the product.
Well, that actually brings me on, I've actually on quite nicely there about obviously why we did in the first place. I mean, your website's incredible and actually puts me a little bit to shame with the data you've got there. But for our partners and what we do training wise, we bring guys in on the training. We show them the product. You know, everybody knows and everybody tags on the socials. Obviously, the rainbow spaghetti, the color coded Cat 6, all the rest of it. But we're bringing guys in. We're teaching them that. We've got this color coded standard, which they're then going out and they're fitting for us. And it's even like with our whole social media following and stuff in the first place. Like people ask us like, oh, where do I buy this cable from? Where can I get this from? Where can I get that? So we have a bit of a partnership and a collaboration where we work together. And again, like people said to me like, oh, well, how much cable you got in stock? Well, I actually don't have any cable in stock because there isn't any point in me having any cable in stock with the relationship we've got. We're giving those people the same as you, but on a different angle, especially for our partners who'll get better pricing, is you're giving them the cables accessories, we're giving them cables accessories, the different kind of and the stuff that works together in the smart home space and smart home products through that platform as well. So that's good. So let's go back onto Cablecraft and have a little discussion there because you just said, just a little break there. How many products have you got?
The Cablecraft website hosts somewhere in the region about 28,000 products.
28,000 products.
And each of those
there
has...
Oh, there she is, beating up. Just, holding pride in place. I'm not surprised because absolutely. That is literally, you'd never think, like, obviously they have 28,000 products, but you maybe have 10, 20, 30 SKUs of that are literally decor products. It's crazy.
Yeah. And all of that will have technical information that sits behind each one of those SKUs. There'll be data sheets and imagery and everything else that sits literally with that. And it's a fourth bridge job. We go again, and we just make sure that it's updated. But
literally, interesting, literally get to the end, get to the end of finishing updating everything, and back on. You've got 2 members of your team full time.
Yep.
That are just doing the website stuff.
Yep. And we're also taking note of people's search criteria. So at the top there, you can see a little search bar. I'm looking for. So sometimes people use terminology or other people's product codes or whatever it happens to be, which are not necessarily aligned with how we've tagged and named our products. So we will review that on a weekly basis. We'll see where someone searched for a product and they've got to a dead end and got no solutions and no suggestions. And then if it's appropriate, we'll add those tags to the back end of that product. So next time someone searches for that same term, they will find a product.
I mean, I have actually had that on a personal level where I searched a website for something and it quite yielded the result. Again, I'm not surprised because it's 28,000 to keep maintained, but then I'd searched it another time, bang, pop straight up. So you are actively looking at improving user experiences, really, and making sure it's up to date and it's fresh and it's pulling a result, and ultimately people can find what they want.
Absolutely right.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're proud of both those websites. We've got FIFO on the Cablecraft one, and we're looking for Google reviews on FS cables. And if you just go through and scan through some of those comments from our customers, they're valuing what we do, and we want to make life easy. We want to make it easy for you. We want to make it easy for other customers as well. And those platforms, we're constantly improving, developing, enhancing, and there's plenty more to come as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Awesome. And to kind of obviously keep all this together, I mentioned your team before, Mark, but there are more than just Mark's team here, because I suppose it's worthwhile mentioning, obviously, kind of with the whole COVID thing, a lot of companies have adopted like a fully flexi model. Some are semi-flexi, some are, it doesn't really work. You expect to keep everybody together. Like, what's moving forward? I mean, I'm sure, did you adopt during the COVID thing?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously you had to work from home, and we had a mixture of in the office working from home. Obviously, the warehouse at times had to do split shifts to make sure we protected everybody. Now we've got majority of the people back in the office, and as you've seen, we've got plenty of space. It's a light, bright, airy office, and we're well protected from that. In that sense, we've still got a few people working from home. We've got people over in Ireland as well, but we remain a flexible business to work for. And we've got people starting a bit earlier now, leaving a bit early, or staying a little bit late. I think COVID's taught us that we need to be flexible in the way that we work and the way that we treat our employees. And by doing that, you get even more back, and that's great. And we should continue that as a business, forevermore, really.
Yeah, it's something we do massively, really. Like, for the guys can do what works well for them. Within reason, obviously, can't film a podcast from home, unfortunately. Sorry, Cam. But we can do the podcast from here, and then you can edit it from home. knock yourself out. You've got all the stuff, can do that, and you kind of adopt a similar policy.
But as a sales team out there, I mean, I have to say, I love it when everyone's together because the buzz, we got bells, you know.
Got the bells, and I didn't even know about the bell thing until yesterday. Was with another business, and I thought it was for fire drill. Oh, what's that? Is it when fire alarm's not working? Like, no, it's a sales bell.
But yeah, I think that sales environment where people are pushing, you know, we've got wall boards that are tracking everyone's performance day, week, month. We've got the bells for big orders, and I just think it just creates the right energy and enthusiasm to keep pushing. We've got 12 currently, which will probably quickly become 14 in the UK sales team here at FS. We've got 6 over in the export team and another 12 over at Cablecraft.
I think it's worth mentioning a little bit more detail about that export team, because we went up and did a little tour before, and again, probably like you've done throughout the whole thing, but stay honest on what you actually have got. Like literally that export team. Let's talk about the export thing in quite a bit more detail. You know, I'd seen a picture over there as well. Oil and gas, export in general, other countries.
Yeah, so obviously the Shoal export team sells product overseas for FS Cables and Cablecraft at this moment in time. So we are exporting to New Zealand, to America. We're working on projects right around the world, be it renewables, for wind turbines, to oil and gas, maybe in the Middle East or in Azerbaijan or Kazakhstan. And that could be supplying tagging solutions through our ident or marking solutions that have been specified on for BP. It could be construction projects, but a lot of what we do also is smart homes. So you will see us out at IEC in Barcelona in May. We will probably be out at Light and Build, not this year, but in a couple of years' time. We like to stay active. We've got guys in the office that can speak multiple languages and go out and travel around the world as well.
Thing when you went through the team there, and you went through like, oh, this chap, he speaks this language. Yeah. This lady speaks 3 languages.
Yeah, and you've got to, in this modern world, we've got to be able to communicate with the countries that we're doing business with, and be prepared to go out there and travel around and build those relationships. I mean, just as well as we all do, and all your listeners, the only way to build a relationship is to meet people, and you can't do that sitting in the UK. You need to get out on a plane and travel and see. Obviously, COVID is stop that. Brexit didn't help, but I think Europe in particular is starting to get used to the new terms, the new way of doing it. And I think the fear of buying from the UK is subsiding, and we're starting to see bigger projects come through now, and getting back to where we were pre-COVID. So it's exciting. They've got plenty to go at. They've got the world. And I think we've got some really good things to come from the export team in the this year and next.
Well, it sounds like you've got all the teams, because things are growing, all the export stuff is getting bigger. Yeah. It's exciting times.
Yeah, I mean, last year we grew from 26 million to 30 million for Cablecraft and FS. We had a goal, a Shoal Group, to get to 50 million in 2 to 3 years. Now, that was through organic and also strategic acquisitions. We acquired SWA, so we're pitching in at around about the 40 million mark now. We'll probably go on and achieve 44, 45 million. Hopefully we'll go through budget and get close to that. So that whole get to 50 in 2 to 3 years is actually going to be much sooner. And as a business, we're acquisitive. The aim is to continue to grow and to find great businesses to bolt on to Shoal Group. So, watch this space. Hopefully there'll be another one in however many months to come.
Awesome. No, absolutely wicked. Well, I suppose I'm going to kind of finish with really about you and your capacity within the business, in terms of how long you've worked here, what your visions are moving forward, and tell me a bit more about you and your FS Shoal Group story.
Yeah, so I started out 2003. It was October. I can't remember the day, but it was October.
Big shift, I'll let you off.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a crazy one. So it was the premises back then was in a different location. It was at the end of my road.
Nice, not far to work.
Couldn't possibly be late, could I?
Literally fell into the job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I probably still would be late to that job.
Yeah, so I started out in sales in the export team, and then slowly moved into more of a business development role. So I spent a lot of my time traveling around Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Middle East, went out to South Africa, Ethiopia, I got around, which
You've
was
got
great.
a few stamps on the passport from
and
it.
it gave me a real good understanding of the wider market, different types of cables, projects, and how to do business. That evolved into me becoming export manager for what was called FSC Global at the time.
Remember that?
Yeah, the director Gavin was involved in one of the big ERP projects for the group, so he allowed me to make some mistakes. It was their money, not mine, so that was fine. But hopefully,
It's always nice when your boss lets you make mistakes with his money, isn't it, Cam?
but the good thing for us is we made some good decisions as well, and the business grew and grew and grew. And when the business was sold in 2018, I moved over to take on the UK side with customer service and marketing as well. And then it evolved. Shoal Group formed, and I got promoted to be sales director of the group. And it's probably just over a year now, year and a half probably now since that happened. And it's going from good to great, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Got all that stuff. And you mentioned before, Matt, that you said that you've joined the journey. You've not been here as long as that, but there's a lot of people that have been here long. And you said the reason why you enjoy that so much is because of the culture, and it's nice to work here.
Yeah, when I walked in the door, and there's still the old company motto, if you like, above the door as you walk in, and it rings true. People are sort of proud to do their job. They're proud to service our customers, and they want to build a business that everybody's proud to work in. I mean, you spend 7-8 hours a day every day, so you should enjoy it, and you should be proud of it. And there is that kind of natural. I was so surprised and so delighted when I walked in the door that it was just natural. FS was a business that was a very, very good business that just didn't tell anybody about it. They just went about their business quietly and softly.
We were proud to be the best kept secret.
No, exactly right. I mean, it was ridiculous. And so from a marketing perspective, we're just, we're just sticking our hand up and saying, hang on a minute. If you want to work and partner with a business that's going to deliver, be consistent, and you want confidence in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, a lot of things we've been talking around this afternoon, then FS is going to be the business for you. If you spot by and you want something cheap and cheerful, then we're probably not. So from a marketing perspective, and the team there that have evolved now over the last couple of years, we're doing an awful lot. We've put in place an awful lot with regards to our communications and keeping our customers up to date, in introducing new products, et cetera, but also just continual improvement. There's always that desire to make things better and better and better. So there's no end to this website project for FS or Cablecraft. There's no end to it.
Just continual development,
it
improving.
will continue to develop until we get to a stage where the platform can't be developed anymore. And then we'll change the platform.
Then buy another company, have to integrate that into it all.
It's going to be interesting moving forward.
But it keeps it fresh. It keeps it exciting. It means that your role is not going to become stagnant. It's not going to be like,
not even for a day.
Yeah.
Not even for a day. But every day is a good day. I'm very lucky. We've got a great team of people there.
Yeah.
And as a business, we have fun doing it. If we hit targets, you'll see a food van. You'll see it on LinkedIn. We have food vans come.
Literally do it all the time.
We're big on training and coaching and development. We've got roughly 30 people at the moment going through the EDA modules, the Electrical Distributors Association. They run a series of modules that you can go on and learn, industry specific, all city and guilds accredited. So that's across the Shoal Group. We've got people doing apprenticeship schemes, doing degrees, doing SIPs. There's a great culture of, you're not just joining a business just because it's a business. You're joining it because you want to further your career, and we'll support you and help develop you to be the very best that you can be.
Nice. Love it. And I suppose finally kind of close off before we say thank you and goodbye, but it would be naturally of you. Obviously, you're the marketing man. I mean, I say you're the marketing man, but you are also very good. And a lot of the FS team and Cablecraft team are very good on the socials, more predominantly on the LinkedIn side of things, on the kind of personal stuff. But all the socials are good, really, but you are active because there's a lot of people doing it. Even when I do a post, I don't even have to tag you in it. Like, literally, I could put a picture on, which is one of our partners pulling cables on a job in Devon. It's got a big stack of the cables. Bang, 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 bang. The FS team are just literally all over it, and showing that. So I think, obviously, with highlighting it with the cables, I didn't really like the term, but we put it in place, and it's like, it's so cringe and so cliche, it just works. But the whole rainbow spaghetti kind of thing. And have you found that over the last couple of years since we've started doing that the kind of market share on the smart home cables has improved?
I definitely think the brand that you've created in Rainbow Spaghetti helps. Let's not hide away from it. I think it's a great name. We're proud to back it, and you'll continue to see us liking all the posts where all your partners are installing it, and we support them. It's a great product. You've created a great brand with it, and long may it continue.
Literally in complete exclusivity. Like literally, we get people trying to push cables and things into us all the time, and literally flat on the face. No, and literally, you could try and sell me a Cat 6 cable at 50% to what I pay you for it. I just won't do it because I know I've got that. Consistency is key, but we've got. I like things the same, and I like things to be always the same, and that's what you provide very well. And I know even the same service and customer service and. Can I rely on you to get an order out at 4 o'clock the next day? You can. And I know you probably been that little bit further over, because of kind of the volume you do. I mean, some months, we may do 20, 30 grand with you a month potentially, and good business, and obviously long may it continue.
Absolutely.
So chaps, thank you very much for your time. It's been good to come down.
Thank you.
Because we've had this in the planning.
2 years.
2 years.
I know.
For literally 2 years we've wanted to do this, and literally we had it booked in. And COVID hit. We were supposed to be coming in March, weren't we?
I know.
So it's literally almost 2 years to the day when we were going to do this. And then finally, as it started to ease off, you literally were one of the first ones on my list. I was like, right, we are going out to see these guys. And I'm glad I did because I was come out. I've met you for the first time today as well, Matt. We've got to see everything we've got here. And blow my mind. We've got loads of good content. Lads are going to be editing for weeks.
Pleasure to have you and the team. And long may it continue. And brand everything, and Rainbow Spaghetti, here we come.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.